this scene. How did that work? Okay, yeah, it's streaming just fine. Transition. Boom! We are live.
Boom, there we go.
Boom goes the dynamite. I need to turn on desktop audio. Wait, no, I don't want desktop audio. No, I think I actually do want desktop audio. Yeah. So they can hear you. That's right.
Right.
Cool. All right, you want to start us off?
Welcome, everybody. We're back after a 1 year hiatus, break, whatever you want to call it.
Dropping the ball.
Dropping the ball. Well, life kind of got in the way.
As it does.
Moves and whatnot. So, but we're back, and we're gonna do our best to make this a weekly thing. It may not always be on a Sunday night. It will probably just be whenever Danny and I can get our schedules to work together so that we can do this.
Yeah.
But we're back.
We have a lot less free time than when we first started this.
Yeah. Since the first time we did this, between the two of us, there are 2 more kids. And
3.
That's true, because
Was Wesley born then?
yeah, Wesley was born then. So
Wesley
Wesley and Eowyn were both born, but Aylmer wasn't born yet, and Grayson wasn't born yet.
Yep.
So there are now 2 more kids between the 2 of us, and I've moved and Danny's moved. So lots of changes, but we're ready to go.
Crap, I didn't mean people to see that. Yeah. I'm just trying to take care of some... Yeah, keep going.
So tonight we're just going to we'll have a nice little chat. We're going to talk about some rankings, which will obviously be geared more specifically towards the 57s league, but I think in general it's applicable to any standard ESPN league, meaning any non-PPR league, because our rankings are about the same, because our scoring isn't really any different.
Yeah.
It's got a couple of tweaks, but nothing that would change these rankings from this league to another standard ESPN standard league. So we'll say things, just for those of you who haven't listened to us before, we'll say things like in an ESPN standard league, and that means a non-PPR league, which just means you don't get a point for catching the ball, or a half a point, or whatever.
Actually, technically, PPR is standard now.
On ESPN, if you create a new league, it's still considered non-standard.
I thought PPR was standard then. Oh well.
They still list it as standard and non-standard, but PPR is the default, which that would make it standard to me.
Yeah.
But that it being the default makes it the standard, but it is not the default on PPR is the default on ESPN, but non-PPR is still listed as standard. So, and we're gonna do some rankings. We're just gonna rank quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers. We decided not to rank kickers because it's almost impossible to rank kickers. You just never know with kickers.
Yeah.
Defenses is kind of the same way. Something that a team that has a fantastic defense one week could bomb the next week. I mean, and that changes every year. As far as I'm aware, never has a fantasy number 1 defense repeated. So
Even Seahawks?
Even Seahawks. I mean, you've had number 1 stay in the top 5, but as far as I'm aware, never has a number 1 repeated 2 years in a row. They might have repeated, but never back to back. So, and tight ends, I'm going to break down tight ends for you. Travis Kelce is really, really good. He's the number 1 tight end in fantasy. Behind him are George Kittle and Zach Ertz. They're fairly interchangeable. Personally, I prefer Kittle to Ertz, but some people prefer Ertz to Kittle. For me, it's just a preference thing. And then there's everybody else. There's basically the tight ends that you know that you would draft, and then there's the tight ends that you weren't considered drafting anyway, so you're still not going to draft them. And there you go. We've covered tight ends. So we're going to focus on quarterback, running back, and wide receiver.
Which one do you want to start with?
Let's go in that order: quarterback, running back, wide receiver.
Let's do it. All right. Moving it. We're going to start with quarterback.
Yes, sir.
You know what? Give me a second here. I'm gonna add some suspense to this. So.
Ooh. Okay.
Just give me 1 second here. Window capture. There we go. Go here. Okay. Yeah. Let's start with the first two out.
Okay.
And boom. There we go. Switch there. Boom. Okay. I've hidden the rest of them.
Boom. There we go.
And so my first two, number 11 and number 12, Josh Allen, Ben Roethlisberger. I think Josh Allen, he had a pretty good down the stretch, so I think that's going to translate into fantasy goodness, number 11. I mean, that's worse than what Russell Wilson did last year at number 9, so
right.
I'm feeling confident with these two.
I like the picks of Josh Allen and Ben Roethlisberger. They're both really good, and I think they're going to do good. As far as quarterbacks go, I'm a little more nervous about Josh Allen than you are. I'm a little lower than him. Spoiler alert.
Didn't even make your top 12.
He's not in my top 12.
Yeah.
But I love the upside with Josh Allen because of what he does with his legs, and I don't expect the Bills' defense to be much better than it was last year. And so I expect him to have to throw. I expect him to be a better thrower, and I expect him to have broken down plays and have to run.
You got a rookie running back. You got a rookie quarterback in your top 12. What up with
yes,
that?
Yes, sir, Kyler Murray. I know he hasn't done great preseason. Some people have been, shall we say, less than pleased with what he's done so far in the preseason, but I like the upside with him. He is Baker Mayfield. I mean, if you listen to the Fantasy Focus podcast, shout out to ESPN's Fantasy Focus podcast. If you listen to that, he's basically Baker Mayfield, but a better thrower and a better runner. In his time at Oklahoma, he did just as good. He also won the Heisman, but he was a more accurate thrower, even deep, and he was a better runner. So give me the Kyler Murray upside. And then at number 11, I've got Dak Prescott. I expect Dak Prescott to do good things this year. I like what he's got. I like his talent.
But not enough to be a starter.
But not enough to be a starter. I like him as like your first backup or your first bye week fill-in.
If something happens to anyone in the top 10.
Right, exactly. Something happens to one of the top 10, Dak Prescott's the first guy I'm looking to see if he's still available.
Cool.
Or even in the draft, if it's getting later in the draft and there's really not a running back or wide receiver that I want to throw a dart at, I'm willing to take a second pick late in the draft on Dak Prescott. Because I like the talent. He's done good for the Cowboys, and I expect him to keep doing good, just not be good enough to be a weekly starter. I expect him to have good numbers at the end of the season, but my biggest thing with Dak Prescott is that he's a little inconsistent, and especially with not knowing some things about Ezekiel Elliott right now, he does better with Zeke on the field. So I'd rather have someone that I'm a little more confident in being more consistent than Dak Prescott as my starter.
Alrighty. Let's move on. Number 10. Jared Goff for me, and you got Big Ben. Why are you higher on Big Ben than me?
So Big Ben last season was the number 3 quarterback in fantasy football. He was fantastic. And I expect that to stay about the same. I mean, not about the same, but I expect him to still stay a starter. I don't think that that they're going to be great on defense. I think the Steelers are going to have to throw the ball. And Big Ben has proven over a decade, more than a decade, of doing it, that he's great at throwing the football. And Juju Smith-Schuster, being the runner and the playmaker that he is, opens things up for Big Ben to get him a little short pass, and then off he goes.
Okay. And I'm going with Jared Goff. I just think he's, I don't know, number 10, fringe QB1.
Yep.
I mean, he doesn't have the best weapons. I'm feeling Jared Goff at 10. I mean, I'm not as analytical as you, but yeah. All right.
I like the call. I mean, they've got out there in LA. They've got 3 wide receivers that could be, all 3 of them could be wide receiver 1s, and they were for a couple of weeks last season with Cooks and Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. When you've got a receiving core like that, good things can happen with Jared Goff. And so I'm not gonna say you're crazy 10, but but I'm just not as high on him as you are. I don't think. I mean, I might get lynched here, but I don't think that the Rams made a good pick with Jared Goff as the number 1 overall. I think time has shown that he's just not what they were hoping that he would be.
Little spoiler alert, Taylor says his number 1 quarterback this year is Andrew Luck, so good luck with that one.
please, Taylor, take him number 1.
Hey, if you don't draft live, you get Andrew Luck as your number 1 pick, okay?
There you go. There you go. That's our punishment.
You know what? Even if he didn't retire, that would still be a bad number 1 pick.
number one overall.
All right, moving along. I'm a little bit higher on Dak Prescott at number 9 than you are.
Yeah, you are.
Because of one reason, Amari Cooper. He's gonna be a great talent for Dak Prescott. He's gonna make him a little bit. I would never draft Dak Prescott, by the way, because he plays for the Cowboys. I've been burned by Cowboys quarterbacks before.
You've been burned by specifically Tony Romo before.
Yeah, who netted me literally negative points in the 2 weeks I started him. Negative points. He had negative points both those weeks. I will never own a Cowboy again. Ever again. Never.
Yeah.
Never.
That's fair.
And you've got Russell Wilson at 9, the same
got
place
Russ
he
at 9.
finished at last season.
Exactly. I've got Russ at exactly 9, same as he. I'm a little higher on DK Metcalf than Czar. I think he's gonna do pretty good. I know that some people were a little worried that David Moore would take some from him, but Moore is injured and is going to miss a couple weeks of the regular season, which just gives Metcalf some time to shine. And I think the Hawks are going to be good in the air because they have a good running game. And everyone knows when you got a good running game, that opens up the passing game. You can't just say, oh, they got a terrible running game, so let's just focus on the receivers. And last year, Russell Wilson was an amazingly efficient quarterback. And I just expect with Tyler Lockett as the number 1 there in Seattle, I expect Russell Wilson to be able to do great things. So give me Russ at 9.
All right. I made our faces a little bit bigger on stream. We had some space to work with.
Oh, yeah, so you did.
Okie dokie. Let's see here. Moving along.
Number 8.
To 8. Oh, come on. Nope. I don't want that. I want that. There we go. I've got Russell Wilson at 8. I project he's going to do a little bit better. He's got better weapons this year. He doesn't have a banged up But people say, "Oh, Doug Baldwin retired. Who's he going to throw to? How about Tyler Lockett?
Yeah.
DK Metcalf. He's getting Will Disley
Russell
back.
Wilson had a perfect QBR targeting Tyler Lockett last year.
Yeah. And you've got Cam Newton. I think you moved him down, didn't you?
I did because of his ankle sprain. So, for those of you that didn't know, Cam Newton sprained his ankle in the preseason game against the Patriots. They expect him to be ready for week 1, but they're not 100% sure. So, I project Cam to have a great season. He does amazing things with his legs. He is one of, if not the best, rushing quarterback in the NFL as far as consistency goes and as far as touchdowns go. And last season, his efficiency as a quarterback, as a passer, did better. And I think a lot of that is due to Norv Turner there in North Carolina. And so with the Panthers, I expect a lot out of Cam Newton. The only reason I have him at 8, I'm high on his talent and his upside this year. But if he misses a couple of games or 2 regular season games, that drops him down to 8 for me.
Alrighty. Let's move along. Again, I keep doing that. We both matched Drew Brees, number 7. Brees just continues to deliver.
Drew Brees is Drew Brees is Drew Brees.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, this isn't the only one we agree on this list. I understand. Yep. I know that. And so
would you like some fantasy analysis on Drew Brees, Danny?
Sure.
He's really, really good.
That's hashtag analysis right there. I don't think there's the reason why he's not higher is because of the age, the opportunities that he's losing, and so and the 6 above him are just really good too. 7 is like a really safe pick for a number.
Yeah, 7 is a great pick. I mean, if I leave the draft with Drew Brees as my quarterback, I'm not going to be like, oh man, I couldn't get anyone better. I would be stoked to have Drew Brees as my quarterback.
Yeah.
The only other reason I'm a little low on him, they have a great running game and a better defense than they have for years down there in New Orleans. So he isn't the quarterback that he used to be, throwing 5,000 season back when they had no defense and had to throw every single play. But he's still really, really good. The talent is undeniable.
Yep. All right, moving right along. Let's get the next 2 up. Baker Mayfield, number 6 for me, and you've got Carson Wentz.
Yes, sir.
A little bit of spoiler alert. I don't have Carson Wentz ranked in my top 12.
Yeah.
But you've got him.
I'm much higher.
What has Carson Wentz done? What has he done? Tell me what he's done.
Carson Wentz has not finished a season yet in the NFL. He has not played all 16 games yet. But when he is on the field, he is an elite talent. And the Eagles have only added to their passing core. And the thing with the Eagles is their wide receivers, spoiler alert, I don't have any Eagles wide receivers in my top 10. I probably wouldn't.
So what are you doing?
So you don't have to have a top 10 wide receiver to be a top 10 quarterback if you've got 5 top 20 wide receivers. So the talent that is there in the wide receiving core is so big and so deep that the Eagles don't have a number one standout receiver, but they have so many wide receivers that are good that Carson Wentz can throw to pretty much any one of them and still have great success with them.
I'm almost confident enough that Carson Wentz will not finish as a top 10 top 10 quarterback to slap bet. But I'm not going to slap bet. But I'm almost confident enough. I'll do some other bet besides slap bet, but I'm confident enough that Carson Wentz won't finish in the top 10.
That would be an interesting bet. I would probably take that bet.
What do you want to bet?
If it's not a slap bet.
Come on, back your ginger boy up.
Let's see. I don't know. You're the one who said you wanted to make the bet. I'm down for a slap bet, but you don't.
We'll figure out the terms later.
Yeah, we'll figure out a term.
But I bet you that Carson Wentz will not finish as a top 10 quarterback. And no conditions on that, by the way.
Right.
Whether he gets injured or whatever. That's part of my bet, is that he's going to get injured, he's going to miss time. That's why he's not top 10. And so...
Right. So, things to be considered later, but the terms of the bet to be considered point, but I bet you that Carson Wentz will be a top 10 quarterback.
All right. Bet's made. Huzzah.
Boom. Bet
All right.
made.
All right, let's move along to the next one. I've got Cam higher than you do, 3 spots higher. You've got Baker Mayfield 1 spot higher. I'm higher on Cam than you because he's ridiculous. I do not like Cam Newton as a person. All right? I think this whole stupid thing is dumb. It looks like a chew. You're sneezing all along. Okay, man? Just knock it off. But as a talent, he just continues to embarrass me in fantasy football. So if Cam Newton's sitting there at a good spot when I get to pick, I will pick up Cam Newton. So I'm
not going to disagree with you. Like I said, the only reason I have him at 8 is I'm a little worried about that ankle.
About his health.
But, yeah. I mean, his shoulder is doing better. He's looked really good in the preseason shoulder-wise. It seems like the surgery that he had in the offseason that up a lot, and that his throwing motion is back to normal. And like I said, the rushing, undeniable.
Yeah.
So.
And plus he's got Christian McCaffrey to throw to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Little dump off, Christian McCaffrey takes it for a long ways.
All right, let's move along. Next one, we both got Matt Ryan at number 4.
Yep.
I used to not be a believer on Matt Ryan until I looked at the stats. I'm like, okay, Matt Ryan.
I know. It's insane.
Is gonna be an elite talent. So.
Here's the thing with Matt Ryan. I don't think that Matt Ryan is a particularly talented quarterback. I think he landed in just the right spot with the right system and the right defense and the right wide receivers that it has made him look elite. Whereas maybe in a different offense, we wouldn't be having the same conversation.
All right, moving along to 3.
But maybe that's just me.
Let's move along to 3. We both got A-Rod at number 3. Talent's undeniable. If it weren't for a couple other names, he would be number 1.
Yep. I mean, would you like some more analysis? Aaron Rodgers is really, really.
He's really good. Let's go with number 2. I believe our top 3 we agree on.
Yeah, I believe our top 3 are the same.
Let's just pull it off. Deshaun Watson number 2, Patrick Mahomes number 1. Raise your hand if you're surprised we rank Patrick Mahomes number 1 as number 1 quarterback. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He is consensus number 1 quarterback.
Yeah,
and so
you could take away so much of his production from last, and he's still the number 1.
And Deshaun Watson, hopefully, if he stays healthy, he could. If Deshaun Watson finishes number 1 quarterback, I would not be surprised.
I'm not going to be surprised.
Yeah. So, in fact, if any of these top 4 finish number 1 quarterback, I would even put for my top 7. Yeah. My top 7, if any one of them finish number 1 quarterback, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if Russell Wilson was number 1, to be honest.
I would too. I mean, he was 2 seasons ago. The Seahawks looked very different 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, that they did.
So.
Okay, let me hide this.
Deshaun Watson, really good, and when you're throwing good DeAndre Hopkins, good thing.
Yeah, good things happen.
Hashtag analysis.
Yeah. All right, I need to switch these. I forgot to do that.
So while Danny's fixing that up, that finishes off quarterbacks. Let us know what you guys think. It's still just 2 watching live.
Yeah, let me pull up the quarterbacks again. There we go. And so yeah, some things that our biggest discrepancy, I'd say, is Cam Newton.
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz is a big discrepancy.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm that confident.
Yeah.
And you don't have Jared Goff in your top 12.
No, I don't have Jared Goff in my top 12. Probably 13. I think he just misses it for me. I like him.
Where would Josh Allen go?
Josh Allen would probably be maybe 14 because I like the upside with him. But so probably, yeah, he would probably fall at 14 for me.
You want to know how low I have Carson Wentz? I would probably put him as 20.
Ooh,
20.
that's really
Because
low.
he will get injured. I guarantee it. That's why he's not on here. He will get injured.
Okay.
So
We'll see.
All right, let's move on to running back. First two out for both of us. I got David Johnson at 12. The talent is there, but I got a broken thumb. Come on, man. You cost me a season.
He broke a wrist, not a thumb.
Whatever.
He broke his right wrist.
It's all the same thing.
Which is the one that holds the football.
And
Chris Carson for me.
Devontae Freeman. Yeah, Chris Carson, I think 12 is a great place for him. Do I have him in here at all? Yeah, I actually don't have Chris Carson in here. In fact, if I were to redo this, I'd probably... You know what? I'm going to do it right now. Boom. Chris Carson, number 12.
David Johnson falls out of your top 12.
Yeah. Chris Carson, his talent's undeniable. I think he's... In fact, actually, I'm going to do this.
Oh. Okay.
You know what? As we go through this, he might just creep up.
He might just keep creeping up.
I really think so.
He's really good. The starting job in Seattle is run heaviest off.
Yeah.
He's a 3-down back. Right now, Rashad Penny is really only a change of, and so Chris Carson.
Okay.
End of story.
You know what? Let's go ahead and unveil number 10, and I'll just tell you right now. Wait. We could do this. I can do that.
There you go.
Okay, I'm moving Leonard Fournette out of top 10. He doesn't have a lot of opportunity there. I think Chris Carson has a lot more opportunity.
Yeah, Leonard Fournette, great talent, but
Did I misspell his name?
there's a U after the O.
There is? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Dalvin Cook, number 10.
Love the talent. He's 1 year removed, which is good. For most players, the year after, the first year they come back from their ACL tear isn't usually very, but it's the next year where they look like they did before. And before Dalvin Cook tore his ACL, I think he was like a top 5 running back. I don't have those stats in front of me, but he was really good.
I don't have Dalvin Cook on this list, but I like it. I'll keep an eye out for him. Actually, wait a minute. Never mind. I do have Dalvin Cook. Look, number 9.
There you go.
I don't even know my own rankings. It's been a while. It's been like a month since I've looked at them.
Jumping back to Chris Carson, last year he was running back
11?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, you cut out sometimes, but yeah, wow. All right, well, Dalvin Cook, yeah. You said it. I suck. Joe Mixon, number 9. Yeah, I definitely don't have Mixon on here. But yeah.
Joe Mixon, pretty much the only solid thing for him. Does a lot of running, does it well. Last season, he was running back 8 in our league, in the 57s league. So I've got him dropping a spot from where he was last year. But I'm pretty much on the Bengals, who don't do much well. He's the only that goes right for them. So,
okay.
And I think he's talented.
But you don't think he is the most talented running back in Ohio?
No, I do not. No, sir.
Move along to the next
I
one.
think Nick Chubb is the most talented running back in Ohio.
Discounting the Hall of Fame guys, but yeah.
Best running back currently playing.
Yeah, is Nick Chubb.
Yes, in Ohio. He's not the best running back currently playing. He's only at 8.
Do you think there will be enough target share actually? Do you think there will be enough volume for him? Given that I don't know, the Browns are going to be shaking things up with their new wide receiver.
I think so. I think with Nick Chubb, the Browns still like to run the ball. They found Chubb was very good last season. They want to keep doing good things. He was running back 15 last season, and he wasn't even the starter for all of the season for the Browns. This year, he is the clear-cut starter, and they shipped Duke Johnson off to the Texans, which is a good thing because Lamar Miller just tore his ACL yesterday. Sorry, Brad. And so with with Duke Johnson gone, Nick Chubb just has a lot of opportunity. He's good thumper. They like him when they get close to the goal line. I like his opportunity to score touchdowns. He had 8 rushing touchdowns last season, and he had 2 receiving touchdowns, so he had 10 total touchdowns. That's double digits. Any player that gets double digits, it's fantastic.
Okay. Moving along here, let's go to, and I've got Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
I think.
So, are you nervous at all about him holding?
No.
Ooh. Okay.
World season gonna go. It's way too late in the season. I don't think he'll be holding out. We both got Le'Veon Bell, and let's go ahead and unveil number 6 too, because we agree on these two. Le'Veon Bell 7, Todd Gurley 6.
Yep.
Now you're not nervous that Le'Veon Bell is going into a system that's probably not going to be run heavy.
Not so much. I think that they'll realize the talent that he has and that he'll keep running. They'll use him, and he's a great pass catcher. And I know traditionally Adam Gase doesn't throw passes to the running back, but he's also never had a running back that could catch passes like Le'Veon. Adam Gase has never had as talented of a running back as Le'Veon Bell. And so I think he will adjust schemes to use the talent that he has.
Eat your heart out, Broncos fans. And Todd, I totally agree. And Todd Gurley at number 6, that should just tell you the talent of 1 through 5. That MVP candidate Todd Gurley is at number 6.
The only reason Todd Gurley falls for me, I worry about his knees.
That's true.
That's it. I don't worry about the talent. I still think he will score a lot of touchdowns, but I worry about his knees, and I worry about the Rams deciding whether or not they're going to keep him in and run him as much as they did, especially because they found that they have a couple of really good running backs in the preseason.
All right. Let's keep going along. Number 5.
James
Conner. I have James Conner. You have Ezekiel Elliott. Why do you hate Ezekiel Elliott? Why is he not top 3?
The only reason that Ezekiel Elliott is 3 for me is he has declared that he will not play unless he gets. I mean, players can say that. We'll see if it actually happens. Yep. But it's enough to make me a little bit nervous. If he signed a deal today, he would jump to my number 2. Still not number 1, but he would jump straight to my number 2 spot.
I think everyone knows, just like quarterback, everyone knows who number 1 is on this one.
Yeah.
So, all right, going along to number 4. Oh, James Conner.
So James Conner.
Yeah, on to James Conner.
You are higher on James Conner than I am.
Yeah, James Conner isn't. Oh yeah, I'm way higher.
I got him at 11.
Yeah. Do you think really they're gonna be having what is it? A restricted Ben Roethlisberger be carrying this offense? He doesn't have Antonio Brown anymore. Yeah, he's got Juju, but he's not Antonio. He doesn't have a running back to throw to. James Conner is more of a ground and pound kind of a guy rather than a ball catcher.
No more Antonio Brown is exactly why I have James Conner ranked lower. It allows the defenses to focus more. They don't have to be worrying about Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster and James Conner anymore. They really just have to worry about 2. And so that allows defenses to take away some running freedom that James Conner used to have. There was so much more talent spreading out the field, whereas now that there's a little less, I worry about him. And last year, he missed 3 games in the playoffs, in the fantasy playoffs, and that hurts. And he ran really good at the beginning of the season, but it just seemed like he couldn't sustain that, and he kind of fell off at the end of the season and had 3 games where he missed due to injury during the fantasy playoffs.
I think he's one who can carry you through, in my opinion. But what about him?
He's a player that I'm okay if I'm. So if he proves this year that he can do it without Antonio Brown, I'm okay saying, hey, I was a year late. I'm all aboard the James Conner train next year.
What is wrong with you? David Johnson at 4?
David Johnson, baby. David Johnson in an incredibly bad, a very, very, very bad offense last year. I mean, the Cardinals were really bad. There was a big reason that they had the number 1 overall pick. Even still, David Johnson got 258 carries for 940 yards and 7 touchdowns, and he caught an additional 50 passes for 446 yards and another 3. So David Johnson, in a really bad offense, was still running back 10 in fantasy last year.
Injury prone. Pass.
He didn't have any injuries last year, and he didn't have injuries before that either. He only had the 1 year where he broke his arm. Other than that, he has been rock solid.
Broke his wrist, remember?
And he gets like 50% of his team's touches. There's no other player in the NFL who gets as much as he does. And they've improved their offensive line. They have a better quarterback who in college loved to throw to the tight end. So David Johnson's target share is probably going up there. And they just had one of their rookie wide receivers get placed on IR today, so Hakeem Butler. So someone that they thought might be taken away from David Johnson, he's gone now. So David Johnson, behind an improved offensive line from last year, and with a quarterback that's certainly more threatening than Josh Rosen was last year, I see him going up from running back 10 that he was last year.
Number 4, Alvin Kamara for me. I just think, again, the talent's undeniable. It could tell you, it could tell you what you think about 1 to 3. Got any football analysis about Alvin Kamara?
He's really, really good.
There you go.
All
right, moving along. You're a little bit higher than him than I am. That's because really some things were shuffled around.
So we did have 1 through 4 as the same until I dropped Ezekiel Elliott down to 5 because of his holdout.
Schmoldout.
Like I said, if he signs a deal, then back to number 2 for me for Ezekiel Elliott. But he makes me a little bit nervous that if he does continue the holdout and signs like right before the season, the first week might be a little rough for him. But Ezekiel Elliott is still really, really.
I think even if he does hold out, by the way, I've got him at 2. He's still going to do great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
once he comes, he'll be fantastic.
Christian McCaffrey.
He's really, really good.
Yeah. If I got Christian McCaffrey at pick 3, I'd be sitting. I would love life, but then he'd break his wrist. So
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, Christian McCaffrey at 3 or even 4. I mean, 4 is a steal for me. Christian McCaffrey, love the talent. So you can go ahead and unveil number 2.
Oh,
there you go. Number 2 for me, Christian McCaffrey.
Number 2, Ezekiel Elliott for me. Congratulations. I really think I really think what's his butt? Gosh, dang it! I know his name. Bischoff is probably going to take Zeke at number 2. Yeah.
I
And
wouldn't
then,
be surprised. He's got the number 2 pick.
and then number 1, Saquon.
Saquon Barkley. He's really, really good.
He's the number 1 consensus overall pick. And
Yep.
gosh, who do we got?
And that's what he's averaging on drafts too. 1.1. So
1 point what?
yeah, that means round
1.0?
1.1 means round 1.
Oh, okay.
So the first one is the round, and then the second one is the pick.
Okay. All right.
So
Moving along, let's go to wide receiver.
while you're pulling that up, Saquon Barkley, he can pass. He actually can pass. He threw a touchdown. Didn't he throw a touchdown pass last season? Or something like that on a...
No. He caught a touchdown
Oh, no,
pass.
yeah, that's right. He
from
caught
OBJ.
it from OBJ.
Yeah.
That's right. But he can catch, he can run. The Giants are terrible, and there's no more.
And he'll make you breakfast in the morning.
That's right.
But yeah, those are lists. I don't have Nick Chubb at all. On my top 10 here, you got David Johnson up here. I don't have Mixon.
The biggest discrepancy is David Johnson, because let's be honest, the reason you are so
It's personal now.
2 years ago, and he broke his wrist.
It's personal. It is personal.
It is personal for you.
You know what happens when you poke me, and he didn't poke
Oh,
me.
yeah.
He screwed me.
That's right. For those of you who have never played Magic the Gathering, Danny, poke him first, and he will kill you no matter how.
I'll kill you and your family. Oh, I shouldn't say that on the internet. I'm sorry. No.
That was...
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, moving along. Wide receiver.
Let's hit it.
Edelman, number 12 for me. Cooper, number 11 for me. Again, I think Cooper's got a lot of talent, but that should just tell you who these top 10 are. How well I think of these top 10.
My biggest thing with Amari Cooper, in my original rankings with this, I didn't rank. And then with Andrew Luck retiring, I did have T.Y. Hilton in the top 10. I don't anymore. So Cooper moved up. Here's my problem with Amari Cooper. I have no doubt that in total points he will be a top 10, definitely a top 12, maybe even a top 10. But the inconsistency is too much for me. People say he did so much better after he got to, but he didn't really. He had 2 games over 12 points, with 33 against Washington and 44.7 against Philly, as far as our scoring goes. And 5 games out of 9, he had 5 games under 8 points. If you remove his 2 games, he only averaged 4.57 points per game after arriving in Dallas. This is not a very good points per game. By the way, he also had 2 big games, 14.6 and 21.8 in Oakland. So even when you factor in his 4 home runs, he only averaged 10.3 points per game played. Only 10.3. That's not what you're looking for in your number 1 wide receiver. I mean, it's still solid, but you want a little more. And so he only averaged 9.7 points per game over the season. Too much of a risk for me to start in my week to week, in my opinion.
I think they figured it out I think they figured it out over the
offseason.
Over the offseason, and he's gonna be Des Bryant levels of good.
I would take the bet that, I mean, I'm not gonna make a bet, but I would consider making the bet, because you've got him at 11, I've got him at 12. But the thing is, he's gonna be a top 12 or 10 wide receiver in fantasy this year, but it's gonna come because I still say it's that he will not be consistent, and he's only gonna be that high because he has 3 home run games, and you never know when that's gonna come.
All right.
So I will bet you that Amari Cooper will be an inconsistent wide receiver in fantasy this year.
Wait, are you betting that someone is going to be inconsistent? Dude,
I'm betting
welcome to fantasy football. Everyone is inconsistent.
I'm betting that specifically Dallas has not figured out Amari Cooper and that he will still be the same guy he's been his whole career.
Oh, excuse me. I'm really tired. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all good.
Moving along. I've still got T.Y. Hilton in number 10 because I haven't adjusted my rankings since the Andrew Luck news. And I think the talent there is still undeniable no matter who's thrown to him.
Yeah, two years ago with Jacoby Brissett, T.Y. Hilton was still really good. He's just, not as good with Jacoby Brissett as he is with Andrew Luck. And that's just because Jacoby Brissett isn't as good as Andrew Luck.
You got Keenan Allen. That's true. You got Keenan Allen at number 10. He was a top 5 wide receiver last year. Why do you hate him?
Keenan Allen, he's good.
At least I'm pretty sure he was a top 5 wide receiver last year.
He was wide receiver 14 in our league last year.
Oh, darn. I thought it was a number. Thought he was
Nope.
Yeah.
Number 14 in our league last year. So, I think he's good. I think I like the talent for Keenan Allen. I'm just not expecting huge things out of him this year. So, I mean, I'm still expecting him to be a top 10, but I might go a little higher on him because of Melvin Gordon possibly with his whole.
Yeah.
But still, I'm still nervous about Keenan Allen. So.
Oh, okay.
I think he's good. I just don't think he'll be much higher than 10. He's still, if I walk away from the draft with Keenan Allen as my number 1 receiver, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be okay with that.
All right. Sorry, I'm messing with my camera here.
No, it's all good.
There we go. My lighting. Figure out some better lighting. You should see. I've got this lamp suspended from a curtain rod tied by the power cord using an incandescent bulb. It's hot. It's hot in here. I'm sweating. But yeah, I like Keenan Allen. I think he's great talent. He was on my team in my championship year. Dang, I still gotta get him the trophy.
Yep.
Dang. I feel really bad.
Sorry,
okay.
Danny sucks, Kyle.
I do suck. Moving along at number 9. I got Mike Evans. You got Antonio Helmet Weiner Brown. So
Antonio Helmet Weiner. So
yeah,
that's the only reason I've got him so low. I think, assuming he gets over himself and plays, I think he'll be a great wide receiver. I think he's going to have a fantastic target share. I worry about him being 100% ready to go with his feet. I expect him to play in week 1, assuming that he doesn't retire because of his helmet, which he threatened to do.
What a stupid reason to retire.
Yeah, he lost his 2nd degree today. So
freaking Andrew Luck has been dealing with injuries and he's just like, it's not fun anymore. I understand that. You're injured and all that. Yep. My helmet.
I mean,
I'm going to retire.
He's injured. Helmet. He's come back from injury. He's been injured again. And I can understand that. But I want to wear my helmet.
I want to wear this hat, not that hat. Shut up, Antonio. Just catch footballs. That's what you're paid to do. You're not paid to whine. You're paid to catch footballs. Mike Evans. Mike Evans is the only good thing the Buccaneers have.
Yep, they don't have a running game. Enter Mike Evans.
If Mike Evans can finish as a top 10 wide receiver with Ryan Fitzpatrick throwing some passes to him,
yep,
he could be a top 10 with anyone throwing passes to him.
Yep.
All right, moving along.
He was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He was number 6 last year.
Oh, there.
Why do you hate Mike Evans?
Why do I hate Mike Evans? Two first names mainly. I hate that. I'm a little higher on Antonio Brown. The talent is there, so I like number 8. But you got Juju
we're right
at
there, 8 and 9. So
8. You got Juju at 8. Why do you hate Juju? I've got Juju higher on this list.
yeah, you got Juju higher than I do. I'm a little lower on Juju. I still think that Juju is going to do really good. But no more AB means more targets for Juju. However, no more AB also means Juju might get double teamed more, which he wasn't last year. And that makes me a little nervous. Still very talented.
So if he gets double teamed more, then that leaves more passes for James Conner to catch. So shouldn't you be higher on James Conner?
No.
You can't have your cake and eat it too when it comes to Steeler wide receiver running back combo, man.
No, because they can double team both of them.
And then we should be having, Joe Schmo wide receiver number 2 being ranked higher.
That's why I'm high on Vance McDonald.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm just overcooking your grits.
7, 8. Juju Smith-Schuster was wide receiver 8 last year. So I've got it there exactly the same as last year. I just don't have him shooting up the list like people did. Oh, no more AB. Juju's going way up.
Yeah.
I think he'll be about the same.
I'll talk about that later. But no, number 7, I'm higher on Keenan Allen than you because Keenan Allen, I think his talent is still undeniable. He shows up. He's good. But you're higher on Mike Evans than me.
Yep, a little higher on Mike Evans than you. He was wide receiver 6 in a year where he didn't have the same starting quarterback for like almost never 2 games in a row, except for those first 4, because the Buccaneers kept going, no, it's Fitzmagic, no, it's Jameis Winston. We're going to pull him out in the middle of the game. And in a roller coaster quarterback, he was still number 6.
It seems like our top 10 wide receivers are a little bit more skewed. We have basically the same list, but it's just like how we rank them is a bit different.
Yeah, and with Mike Evans, I like him because Bruce Arians likes to throw the ball. Mike Evans is really good at catching the ball. Jameis Winston could be really good at throwing the ball. We'll see.
I made a big boo-boo.
Uh-oh.
I didn't put someone on this list that should be on this list.
Are you looking at my...
Tyreek Hill's number 10 wide receiver. I always have been. Who's T.Y. Hilton? Tyreek Hill, number 10 all the way, day 1. Go on to number 6. I've got Juju at number 6. I think he shines when he's not. The sun will shine on him, and he will reflect that, and he will glitter. And that sun will be shining on him because he won't be in Antonio Brown's shadow anymore, both on and off the field.
I mean, last year with Antonio Brown there, he had 111 catches, 26 receiving yards, and 7 receiving touchdowns. So
those have got to go to somewhere. Those have got to go to someone.
Antonio Brown had 104 catches. So with Antonio Brown there, Juju Smith-Schuster out-caught and out-distanced as far as receiving yards, but Antonio Brown had more than double the touchdowns.
Yeah, Antonio,
and that's just because Antonio and Big Ben had that connection. So
he likes the smell of his own farts. And you've got Tyreek Hill at 6.
Tyreek Hill last year was the number 1 wide receiver. We've got Patrick Mahomes at the number 1 quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, you get it to Tyreek Hill no matter the distance you throw it. If you throw it for 5, he'll take it for 20. If you throw it for 20, he'll take it for 40. I mean, that's just the talent that Tyreek Hill is.
But why do you have him at 6 then? I mean,
wait till you see 1 through 5.
Okay, let's move along. Julio Jones number 5.
Consensus: Julio Jones. He's really good.
He's really good.
My biggest thing with Julio Jones, he's a little inconsistent. Not as bad as him, but he's less inconsistent. I mean, he had 113 catches for 1,077. The biggest knock on Julio Jones, he doesn't get a lot of touchdowns.
He doesn't know what the end zone is. He doesn't realize, oh wait, that's an out of bounds line. No, you can get across that line. Getting across that line is good. That's a good line.
Yeah.
And so
I expect good things from So
Moving along, number 4, Michael Thomas, really good at football. You got
yes,
OBJ there in Cleveland.
yep, love
Number 4.
OBJ. Love what they're doing in Cleveland. Nick Chubb, having Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry, and OBJ is just a fantastic trifecta that makes defenses nervous because they have to spread out. And then they've got Baker Mayfield, who's also well. So they have to spread out. They have to account for everybody. There's no one that they can say, oh, well, we can forget about him because even if he does catch it, even if they do throw to him, he won't catch it. Or even if they do throw to him, we can get him easy. Because even at tight end, David Njoku is a great tight end there in Cleveland, which just means that OBJ is going to be one-on-one. And we've seen what happens when OBJ
Gets one-on-one.
gets good things.
Yeah, that's true. You got to double team him to get him out, to make him irrelevant. Yeah. Moving along, number 3, I've got Devontae Adams. You're a little bit higher on Michael Thomas.
Why do you hate Michael Thomas?
I hate Michael Thomas. Terrible player. I hate him.
Yeah.
2 first names.
Michael,
I hate him.
He said, I want 2,000 receiving done before in the NFL, but he's fantastic talent.
Except Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams has 2 first names. I love that.
But you don't hate him.
I think I might hate him more than you do, actually. So.
Yep, you do.
I think we agree on the top 4. The order's a bit different.
Yeah, we agree on 1 through 4.
Yeah.
2 is the same. No, number 2 is not the same.
No, it's not. Ooh, you might have made a big boo-boo here. Why do you hate DeAndre Hopkins?
I don't hate DeAndre Hopkins.
Where is he? Oh.
There you go.
I'm an idiot. Okay. We might as well reveal number 1 now, then.
Spoiler alert. DeAndre Hopkins is my number 1.
Okay, you love DeAndre Hopkins. Okay.
Oh,
why is DeAndre Hopkins number 1? Why is he above Devontae Adams, Michael Thomas?
So Devontae Adams, I love Devontae Adams. I just think that DeAndre Hopkins is a little more polished of a receiver. I mean, he's fantastic. He had 1,572 receiving yards last year, 115 catches, 11 touchdowns. We expect Deshaun Watson to be even better this year than he was last year.
Yeah.
So that just means that that DeAndre Hopkins is going to be better. And now with Lamar Miller, they've got Duke Johnson as their only running. And in Cleveland, Duke Johnson was always a pass-catching running back. But now they don't have a thumper, so Duke Johnson, until they sign someone else, Duke Johnson is going to have to be a runner and not a catcher. And even with Duke Johnson coming and being a pass-catching running back, DeAndre Hopkins is really, really good. He and Antonio Brown, between the two of them, one of them is the best sideline ball catcher in the NFL.
And it's DeAndre Hopkins.
I would argue that it's DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, Antonio Brown is a close second, but DeAndre Hopkins is the best. And who was it that they played? The Cowboys, where he had double spin move and took it for what should have been a no catch. He took for like a 25-yard reception. It was DeAndre Hopkins is really, really good at football.
Yeah. And I would have him as number 1, except I got a story for you, okay?
Except you love OBJ this year.
So, you've got over here, you've got Baker Mayfield. He's water, all right? He can adapt to anything. Like Bruce Lee said, be water. You put water in a teapot, you become the teapot. Put water in a glass, you become the glass. He is water. He can adapt to any situation, okay? All right? He's water.
Okay.
And then you've got OBJ. In New York, he was a salty boy. He was salty. He was like, I don't want to be in New York anymore. I want to catch from Eli Manning. Who you? What? You know? And then he was just so salty. He got out of there. He got that chloride away from that sodium, that chloride of that pristine, New York over there. And now he's sodium. You know what happens when sodium and water come together, right? Boom! That's what's going to happen with OBJ. He's going to explode.
Okay.
He's going to be your number 1. You like my analogy there?
I like it. I think that OBJ is fantastic. I laid that all out. I would not be surprised if OBJ is the number one wide receiver in fantasy this year.
I'm confident that he will be. Not confident enough to bet. No. But confident enough to where he's.
How confident are you that OBJ outperformed DeAndre Hopkins? Are you confident enough to bet that?
No, I'm not. I'm honestly not. That's why I have DeAndre Hopkins at number 2. If I had DeAndre Hopkins lower, I would be confident that OBJ outperforms Tyreek Hill. And I know you are too, but I'm more confident that he will.
Yeah, it's this season with wide receivers is really interesting. I mean, everyone that you and I have in our top 10, I honestly, with most of them, wouldn't be surprised if they ended up number 1. With the majority of my top 10, I mean, I might be a little surprised if
I would be surprised if Keenan Allen became number 1.
I would be surprised if Keenan Allen. If DeAndre Hopkins is top 10, I'm not going to be surprised. Devontae Adams, no surprise. Michael Thomas, OBJ, Julio Jones. If Julio Jones can figure out how to score touchdowns, no surprise.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, he did it last year. I wouldn't be surprised if he did it again this year because Patrick Mahomes is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
If they can figure things out in Tampa Bay, I mean, there's a lot of guys here that wide receiver, to me, this year feels like it has the most possibility of fluctuation than any year that I've seen before.
As usually what it is with wide receivers. So
yeah, that's partly why I always almost always pick a running back in round 1 because I love that solidness. But in our league, with me being, I'm probably going to be picking a wide receiver. That's just probably what's going to fall to me. So we'll see. We'll see how our draft shakes out.
We will see. Trying to get everything together.
And for those of you that are interested, draft is in 5 days, 20 hours, 26 minutes, and 42, 41, 40. You get the idea. Seconds. So.
Oh, man. 1 second here.
There we go.
There we go. Cool. Transition to that. Okay. And that's all we got.
Boom.
So we've been doing this for about an hour now. So that's perfect.
Nice little.
I'm excited for the draft. Again, if you don't draft live, seen as then you get Andrew Luck. All right.
Last year, Kyle was unable to draft live, but it was because he was deployed to the Middle East, and very fitting that Kyle was our champion. So well done, Kyle. We still need to replace Luke.
Bobby said he would.
Oh, Bobby's in?
Yeah, he's just got to get in.
He's just got to get in.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So Bobby said he would. So I'm just need to figure that out this week.
So Bobby is also currently deployed. So
he should be coming back soon, is what he said.
Yeah, he should be back soon. Last I heard from Bobby, he was deployed.
Yeah. But he should be back soon, from what he told me.
Yeah.
All right, dude. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed.
All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was number 1 of hopefully a weekly video.
Let's try to make
like I said, it may not be weekly, but we'll do our best. They probably won't all be. This one was a little longer because it was the first one. And it was preseason rankings.
Yeah.
But no promises.
All right, dude.
So, all right.
Deuces. Peace. OBJ. Bye.